And now, the man,
The man
myth,
of the hour.
the legend, Grant Williams,
What's up, Mark? How you
is
doing?
sitting down at the table with us. How are you, man?
Good to see
How
you.
about yourselves?
Long time no see.
It's been too long. Let's just say it's been an off season.
We're back.
I
We're
know.
back.
Feels good.
Feels good to be back.
Listen, what was the offseason consisting of for you? I know you went over to Egypt. You were in Cairo with Basketball Without Borders. Tell us everything about the summer. Fill us in.
Fortunately, it was a great summer. Got to do a lot of great things with a lot of great people. I was fortunate to be able to go to Europe. My brothers actually went with Joe prior to the promotion, so it's cool to be able to spend time. And Malcolm was in Cairo. Got to spend time with him and get a better relationship with him. So just excited for the upcoming year. We have a bunch of great guys, as always, with this organization. So it's going to be fun. I got to improve my basketball game on the court. We worked out in Europe, worked out in Egypt, worked out back home, came into the C's facility, worked out. So just trying to improve to help this team get to our goal this season.
We got to hit you right here off the top. What's your reaction with Joe being promoted to interim head coach for this season? What's he bring to the table for you guys?
Yeah, he brings a level of intensity. There's no one better for the role, especially with all that he provides. He's always been there as a sounding board, as an assistant, but he also is a guy that challenges you, from my perspective at least, especially. From the day I walked in, he held me to the highest standard. He's been a guy that will get the most out of you no matter what. He's going to be intense in everything that he does, whether that's winning a regular season game, whether that's winning a playoff game, whether that's winning a board game, card game. He's the same way. So,
Catan?
He does not play Catan. At least I don't think he does. We haven't played. We play card games. Let's just say he's just as competitive there as he is on the court.
I'm sure.
And let's just say when you go against him in practice, that West Virginia comes out of him, Bobby Huggins. So I love Joe. I'm excited for what he has in store for us, and I'm excited for him to lead us.
You're a vocal guy, Grant, on this team. Going into this season, heading into training camp, have you talked to the guys at all about just what the approach is as you look forward to this new season and having Joe now the head coach?
Absolutely. Just focusing on our goal. That's the number one thing, focusing on a championship. Everything else, let it happen. We have no control over anything people say, anything people do. So for us, just focus on the priority and just come in willing to compete, ready to compete from the day of, because I know Joe makes a very, very hard stance on, remember what it was like last season. It's easy to say during the summer after June, like, oh, we'll be back next season, we'll be back. But how do you approach that every single day? How do you approach whether it's being on time, whether it's coming in and with the same intensity, whether it's being vocal and loud enough to everyone can hear you? So for us, it's just a matter of having that intensity and making sure that we are all prepared, because I think we have a lot of great vets, we have a lot of great young guys that all can contribute. So I think it's just a matter of pushing each other and iron sharp as iron.
You look back at last season and that finals run. What did you learn about yourself and also this Celtics team?
Absolutely. I learned what exactly we all are capable of as individuals, as a group. My main focus is the priority of the team, making sure everyone has the same goal in mind, but also are willing to do the things that are necessary. Being a leader out there, both vocally, but just from my work and day-to-day approach, and being willing enough to listen as well. That's the biggest growth aspect as well for me, is just being able to hear exactly what needs to be done, even more so, and then without just asking, seeing things that I noticed that necessarily people may not necessarily spoken or said. And that's probably my biggest priority this season, is making sure as a team we have success, because individually that stuff happens. You never are concerned with individuals. For me, it's always been about the Celtics and what we accomplish.
You said willing to do whatever's necessary. Are you ready to play 40 minutes at center every night?
Hey, we have guys
Till Rob gets back?
Listen, we have guys that are capable of stepping up, So as much as Joe needs me, I'll be there. Whether that's 40 minutes, whether that's 30 minutes, whether that's 20 minutes, whatever he asks of me, I'll be able to do, ready, willing to do. But we have a lot of talent on our team. The guys, Luke, Fee, Sam Hauser, just to credit some names, and then the guys who maybe we could potentially add after that, they're all capable and they're willing to step into that role, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for them to show what they have in store, because not many Celtics fans have been able to see because of our team and how it's built. But I know they're just as competitive and just as willing and ready to go as we all are.
Let's talk about this opportunity for you, though. I mean, this is a great opportunity here at the start of the season. You got 8 to 12 weeks before Rob Williams comes back. Obviously, a lot of those minutes are going to fall on your shoulders. You're going to be able to play some minutes at center. I'm sure play some minutes at power forward and the wing a little bit as well. But how do you view this opportunity for you to kind of make a statement here early in the season that you're ready to bring the goods?
Absolutely. It's something that I've been preparing for the past 3 years. That work that I've been putting in, the growth that I've shown year over year. For me, it's just another opportunity. I've had opportunity my rookie year to play in the playoffs, and I impacted that. Had opportunity next year, let's just say, you could say it was up and down, I guess, but then following year, I came back even harder. So this season, now it's just about taking even more of a leap, because I took a leap last season, but now it's about adding all the things that people necessarily didn't say I could do the year before. So being that same gritty, tough-nosed defender, being the same shooter, if not better, and then being able to be more involved in actions, whether that's screening, whether that's slipping and shooting, whether that's just being more of a presence on the glass. Those are all things that are my priorities, and make sure to take full advantage, because without Rob, there's definitely going to be a little bit of a difference, because without his athleticism, without his shot blocking, so making up for that, that's what my job is.
Amanda, he's talking about his improvements. Let's bring up the shot chart. Max, if we can put this up here. We're talking about three-point shooting here. 25% during your rookie season, 37% during your second season, all the way up to 41% last year. But in particular, from the corners. I mean, the right corner, you shot 50% from the right corner last season. What is it about the corners that allows you to lock in so much, and how do you translate that up to the wing? It's a different shot. How do you translate that up to the wing this season? I mean, obviously, you're not going to shoot 50% from three-point. Maybe you do. Probably not going to happen, but how do you translate that up to the wing?
So, yes, it's just a matter of being prepared for every shot. I think the corners you can get away with not being prepared because of the shorter distance. For a guy like me that doesn't need necessarily the most time and everything to get a shot, you can just kind of arm it, versus you have to use your legs a little bit differently from the wing and the top. So that preparedness, and also being willing to shoot them more. For me, I think I was a little bit hesitant a little bit last year above the break, and and less involved, because a lot of times I'd be positioned in the corner, so that's why I was my probably best shot, had more opportunity, more volume. So it's just a matter of getting that volume the same, and also being prepared on every shot, because I know I'm a good shooter. I know that throughout the season, I think I was at 47, and I had that slump, which got me to 41, so it makes me even more upset, the fact that I went down that much. So it's a matter of getting that number to keep going up and continuing to improve, because I don't settle for less.
I believe you're willing to shoot the three now after seeing you take 17 in a game during the postseason. I think you're willing and able to do that now, right?
Absolutely.
How have things changed for you, too, just mentally heading into this season? You talk about what you've been able to do physically, how you're working on your game, but just having even more of an aggressive mindset, too.
Yeah, so for me, it's always been, I had to break the mindset of what I was an individual, because that's never how I've been. So now that aggressive mindset of being willing to take those shots, being willing to be more aggressive on the offensive end in the basketball, that's all has shown because of the growth that I've shown within the league. And I'm super excited, because I know confidence-wise it's probably highest than I've ever been. And it's a matter of keeping that same confidence throughout the entire season, not letting that waver, because there's going to be ups and downs anyone goes through, but making sure that you understand that doesn't dictate who you are. And that's something that's really vital and important for me, especially throughout this regular season and continuing to playoffs, because I know this team's willing and ready to go. I know I am too.
How do you keep that confidence level? I know it's really difficult sometimes to not get down, but what are you doing to try to prepare yourself for that if it does happen?
Absolutely. Mental training. Shout out to my guy Russ and a couple others. That, and also just understanding that work you put in on the court that isn't seen, and how much that is vital, because my whole thing has always been trying to be humble, kind of be humility is probably the biggest key. And that's as well, because when you get overconfident, that's when things go wrong. So understanding where you came from and understanding what it took to get there, that's probably how I will stay confident throughout the entire season, and how I'll continue to push through.
I'd be remiss not to ask you this question. You're going into your first season where you're in contract negotiations in the NBA, right? Like that has obviously started up. You've got an opportunity at an extension before the season starts, but what is the way that you're kind of looking at this opportunity of either signing an extension before the season starts or winding up playing in a contract year for the first time in your career? What is the mindset as you approach those two potential options that might come?
Yeah, my agents are in communications with the team. Let them focus on that, because at the end of the day, my priority is winning. And I want to be here. I love Boston. But that's being taken care of behind the scenes. At the end of the day, all I can focus on is the next day forward. And for me, that won't dictate my play. So if I get the extension, then great. If I play through the season and have to plan a contract calendar year, doesn't change my mindset because my whole priority is making sure this team gets a championship. We fell short last year, and that can't happen again.
How do you compartmentalize that, though? Right? Like that's not easy to just have that lingering in the background and then take it onto the court every day without letting it impact you. How do you compartmentalize those two things? Because I know if I was sitting in that seat, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, like you always say, the mindset that I've had since my rookie year, thankfully with Brandon Bailey, the coaches that I've had, Evan Brads, is control what you can control. Whether you play, like back then it was whether or not I was playing or not. Then it was whether or not you get a shot or not, whether you'll be guarding the best player, and everything else. So like for that, like that's the same mindset. Control what you can, because I can't do anything the day of that'll change what the summer will hold. So how I just approach it every single day with the same mindset, the same attitude, same consistency, the same leadership quality. Because if I waver, then it allows the teams to waver, and that's something that I'll never do.
You said you were focused on winning, too. How much more motivated do you feel after getting a taste of the finals and just what this team was able to accomplish?
I'm on the edge of my seat right now, honestly.
You're ready to go.
I'm ready to play.
Literally, the back
I was about
edge.
to say, I'm literally on the edge of my seat, ready, willing to go, because we know what it takes. Like, we have no excuse to say, like, we haven't made it there, or, like, we're young. Like, all that's gone. Now, people expect something
You've
from
been
us,
there,
right?
yeah,
We've been there.
yeah.
Now people are like, oh, they're the ones that take off the porch. Well, guess what? We got to hold our standard. We got to hold that to the highest degree. And we have to take it even higher, because with the intensity that we had last season, the competitiveness, the grit, there's more to be done. And at the end of the day, like, if you're not really ready to play, Charlotte, I think we play Charlotte our first game October 2nd.
Yep.
If you're not willing to play our preseason game, then you can't be on this team, because I'm ready to get going. They were telling me play tomorrow. October 2nd, I'm ready for that. Just even though it was a preseason game, same thing. I'm ready for October 18th when we play Philly. Like it's start tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, I feel like I need you to motivate me in my daily life.
Listen, I just got chills when you said there's more work to be done. I'm like, let's go.
We could talk to you all day, Grant, but thank you so much for your time. We have Joe Mazzulla coming on here in a minute, but just appreciate you stopping by.